to win these midterms.
Speaking of hurricanes, we're learning that FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, apparently is going to run out of money. They contend they have enough money to deal with the current devastation brought about by Helene. But the head of it is, what's his name? Mayorkas. What's his first name?
Alberto?
Alejandro. Alejandro Mayorkas was not specific how much additional money the agency might need, but his remarks on Air Force One, he was flying around with Joe, underscored concerns voiced by Biden and some lawmakers earlier this week that Congress may need to pass a supplemental spending bill this fall to help states with recovery efforts. We are meeting the immediate needs with the money we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting, Mayorkas said. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season. Okay? Why don't you? Where's the money? Yeah, go ahead.
Helene devastating the Southeast. More than 190 are confirmed dead, and communities have just been completely wiped off the map. And now Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas is issuing a warning. He says FEMA does not have the funds to make it through hurricane season. This despite Mayorkas' DHS having $640 million, now that's designated money, to help communities support illegal migrants. Chad Pergram is live from Capitol Hill. This is a debate that comes up now and again, but at this point, I would imagine it's going to have some real resonance.
Absolutely, Dana. There's a FEMA fund which addresses immediate needs. Now, FEMA has enough money to help with relief efforts after Hurricane Helene for now. But Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says that will change.
We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
The hurricane season runs through November 30th. Congress made sure FEMA had more than $20 billion in last week's emergency spending bill ahead of the storm. But last year, Congress awarded DHS $640 million to help communities provide shelter and aid to people in the country illegally. That's why there are questions about money for illegal immigration and hurricane relief.
So you heard. They have taken the FEMA Emergency Food and Shelter Program and over time siphoned off hundreds of millions of dollars into basically making it an illegal immigrant resettlement program.
Some may question money going toward illegal immigration when people in the South are struggling to survive following Helene. Republicans still criticize the Biden-Harris administration for how it handled the border.
The immigration policy is basically non-existent. They opened the border, they're allowing everyone in, they put out the welcome mat, and the catastrophe that this has been to our country in every metric of public policy, with the fentanyl poisonings of being the leading cause of death for migrants age 18 to 49, the trafficking.
There are needs for the government to respond to older natural disasters. Expect Congress to greenlight extra disaster aid in a spending bill due around Christmas. And some lawmakers want to increase aid for illegal immigrants to $3 billion. That's with a B, dollars. Dana?
Chad Pergram.
Well, that was from Fox News, so anybody in Liberal Lakes is not going to believe that anyway.
The two people you heard from were the Fox correspondents, and then, of course, you heard Johnson. The one woman you heard was the Attorney General of Florida, Ashley.
With a shaky voice complaining about siphoning funds.
Yeah, I forgot to set that up.
That's in fact true? Is that true?
That's
how am I supposed? I don't know. What I do know is we don't know anything.
Well, what we do know is this area it will probably never recover. A lot of those homes, I would venture to say most of them, don't have flood insurance.
No, you're wrong, Kenny. Do you have Kamala?
I was just going to ask if you wanted to hear from her next.
We have money coming, Kenny.
The vice president was on the grounds near Augusta yesterday.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met.
Those would be FOLXs.
We're from the government. We're here to help.
$750. Well, A, your grocery store just floated by you down the river, and B, that'd get you about 3 bags of groceries.
The only way in and out of most of these zones are helicopter.
You know what I'd do if I was the president?
Which one?
Would mean which one?
The sitting one, the one named
You
Joe
always
Biden.
ask who's running the country.
Well, yeah, I don't know who's running the country. But if I was the president, first of all, I would
Wake up.
trim about 50% of the government.
Sure.
They'd have to go and actually find a job. And secondly, I'd spend my days calling people like the mayors of Asheville, North Carolina, and say, hey, this is Joe. Bob, how are you? Bob, how are your bridges? How are your railroad tracks?
Can I be Bob?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for calling, Mr. President. All of our bridges are out. The railroad tracks are gone.
No, see, I'd do this before the hurricane hit. See, I'm the president. I'm calling you. You're the mayor of, let's try it again.
That's a lot of phone calls in one day.
It is. Bob, are you there? The mayor of Asheville? Bob?
Hold on.
Hello?
Yes, there you are.
Hi, who's this?
Joe, President of the United States.
No shit.
Yep, it is. Yeah, it's me. I'm here in the, I'm at the Resolute desk, the little one.
What can I help you with,
Well,
Mr.
I
President?
just want to remind you that do the things in your town that really require your hard work. Make sure your infrastructure is up to date.
Okay.
Take care of providing for hurricane situations. Have all that in mind before you have a new DEI program or some sort of drag queen contest at the library.
Well,
let's make sure your bridges are perhaps bolstered.
Well, the main bridge that leads in and out of town does need some work, and we're trying to figure out a way to make that an equitable bridge.
Well, Bob, see, there's where you're wrong. It will be an equitable bridge in the sense that everyone will be able to cross it.
Well, but we're still at the state of trying to find a contractor that'll work on it, and we need an equitable contractor.
I see. That can be a hang-up, Bob, but I've waived all those rules. You can hire, for all I care, you can hire the mob.
This country's doomed.
Mr. President.
We're doomed, Joe.
Yes.
This here is Gus from Jordan, Minnesota. I need a new roundabout, President.
We don't do roundabouts anymore.
okay.
I've banned roundabouts.
Gotcha.
They do nothing. Yes.
I believe we have John from Bismarck, North Dakota. On
John,
the
go
line.
ahead, please.
They need another man-made lake.
Joe, in fact, the opposite is happening.
I know. Here's the other problem I think we've...
Sorry,
I'm
Matthew.
I'm
is
not
on the
working.
line.
I'm not answering any more phone calls.
We can't
calls.
We can't take care of ourselves, referring to the government taking care of the people.
You nailed it.
We have to rely on each other. Joe, when a tree falls on your house, you can't go to St. Paul or the county or the state. You have to go to the four of us and hope one of us knuckleheads can help you out.
When we had a big storm, nothing that the late Mr. Unbelievable and I liked more was to patrol on our John Deere lawn tractors and pretend we were important. And we would tow branches out of the road and we'd haul stuff out of the way.
That's what it's all about.
And
that's it. That's America.
That's America.
That's what it's all about. Even if it's just a John Deere lawn tractor.
But we've
that's
already
what it's about.
we've already noted in her previous glimpses to her character or her nature or her thinking that Kamala Harris might very well believe that this kind of aid under her direction, if she was president, this kind of aid might, and I'm being terribly serious, might only be distributed equitably. So what she might mean by that is she believes, for example, that poorer communities are more hard hit by disasters than wealthier communities. That doesn't happen to be true.
She
but
said that.
I know, but that's how she looks at it. It may be that your grandmother just washed away and you're going to find her in a tree 2 weeks from now, but that's okay. You have some money. We're going down here and we're going to dig out these people who don't have any money. And if we get around to your grandmother in 2 weeks, good.
Well, and the weird thing is that Walz apparently had spoken out saying we're going to give everybody $2,000 checks, but then only gave them $200 checks.
Is that from the surplus deal?
The Walz checks.
Well, the point is, I don't want their money. I mean, I'm talking big, but $750 is an embarrassment.
Is she so out of touch that she thinks that will make a difference?
Yes, I bet she is.
It can't make a difference.
7,500 is a start. 75,000 is closer to what they need as a start.
But then
everything
is
gone.
But
gone.
now you're getting into the realm of what
I know.
What responsibility and obligation does a government have to?
Right, I know.
I mean, this whole cradle to this benefits their belief that they should take care of us from cradle to grave, and they attempt to, and they do an extremely poor job of it. They're not equipped to. The government's just too damn big. There's too many duplicate agencies. There's too many redundancies. There's too many places where the dollar doesn't stop. And I fear that under Harrison Walz, that would only get worse, not better. That would only get worse.
Let's go back to the earlier scenario. You are the president, President Souchere. What exactly is the job of FEMA right now, today, in reference to Helene?
Clearing anything and repairing anything that contributes to public reconstruction, clearing roads,
bridges,
safeguarding dams, examining bridges, getting water up and running again, getting electricity up and running again. It's hard pressed for me to say that it doesn't do any good for FEMA employees to wade into a swamped house and hand somebody a $750 check. Right. They've got to first create a situation where that water's draining so the house isn't swamped. They have to contribute to the public infrastructure. They have to repair it. They have to fix it. They have to concern themselves with the basics.
Army of Engineers type of stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Where does FEMA stand in regards to the private efforts that are going on, Red Cross, disaster relief, et cetera, et cetera? Do they get involved at all, or do they let the private sector handle the water, the gas, the food, the flying in and out? Where's FEMA stand on that under your administration?
Under my administration, FEMA is limited to the essentials, and the Red Cross and good souls can be in charge of feeding people.
I've also heard, and I don't know if this is an issue for your administration or not, that there's looting going on, and the looting is just people trying to survive, basically.
Yeah, I saw one guy that owns a restaurant said, we lost everything, and people are still looting.
But it's getting violent, but it's not a for-profit thing. It's a for survival thing.
FEMA, here's how to look at it. What the government should do since the day the country was founded, what the government should be in charge of is getting the people back on their feet as soon as possible. And it's the people that lead their lives. The government can't lead their lives for them. The government's responsibility is public safety. The government's responsibility is to help people get back on their feet as quickly as possible.
Does FEMA get to reserve an entire hotel for rooms for government workers when people whose houses have been destroyed are sleeping in the parking lot?
No.
Does FEMA get to do that?
No, they do not.
Well, that's what's happening. That is, in fact, happening.
Yeah.